G'day and welcome to the 51st episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. This week we're joined by the man himself, the mayor of Syn City, SyntaxSe7en. We talk over everything you can possibly imagine, seriously, and we solve the entire universe's problems. Stick around and check it out. Cheers. G'day and welcome to the 51st episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. Holy shit, it's been a big week. As always, I am joined by my faithful co-hosts, Mylan to the left of me and Slothy down below. Gentlemen, this week we have a very special guest. None other than the mayor of Syn City himself. Are you the mayor or are you the president? Do you have a formal title?
I don't know what I am.
I think we can dub you the mayor.
Would you prefer emperor or dominus?
Emperor.
Depends how you rule your people.
Do you rule with a fair hand?
I am definitely not an emperor. Don't even. I've had it with the emperor. Okay.
More of a dominus.
Welcome,
Syn.
Welcome, Syn. It's a pleasure to have you back on, mate. It's been far too long, and holy crap, what a week to jump back in too, dude. But
yeah, this is a good week to get back into this because we're on the upswing, guys. Upswing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I dropped by his stream for a little bit last night, and that was sort of the vibe of everything. Is that it's this roller coaster of emotions being a Destiny fan, especially an ardent one. That's basically through good or bad, you're here anyway. There's no pissing off to PUBG for a bit or whatever.
I'm here, baby. They can't get rid of me. It's going to take a lot. I'll have to shut the servers down. I'm going to find a way.
But welcome, mate. Welcome. So for those of you in our audience that don't know Syn yet, Syn, can you introduce yourself to those people? I'm sure that there's not many of them, but what do you do? Who are you? Where do you come from? What do you love? What's going on?
They call me SyntaxSe7en. Well, I guess I called myself that first. That's weird. Anyway, so it started as that, and then people started calling me Syn, which is much easier to say. But anyways, I'm a dad. I work at a factory. I stream full time. It's really complicated. I stream every day. I play a lot of Destiny, and I love the people that play this game more than the game, I think. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. Yep. So we'll do our quick little simple questions, and then I've got a surprise for you, man. You're going to be the first, I nearly said contestant. You'll be our first guest ever.
Contest. Now I see what's going on now.
You're going to be our first guest ever that gets their own segment, right? Gets their own segment. No, it's okay. You know all about it, really. It's just I did a little bit of pre-production, and it's But
so can we ask? Can we ask? Because I missed the. I wasn't here the first podcast when we had Syn on, right?
Oh, shit. No, you weren't. No. Now that I think about it.
No, hi, Mylan. Thanks for making it to the second one.
No. The first, so obviously the first time I really spoke to you was at GuardianCon, really, probably.
I know, man. I think I just knew you because of Twitter. It's like, man, this guy's pretty cool. I watched a couple of videos. Yeah. He's got cool tweets. I'm like, who's this guy on the floor? It's freaking Mylan. Let's hug. We know each other. You know what I mean? Guy wants to hug me. Let's hug. And that was Syn Island. And that's
So you said you named yourself SyntaxSe7en. Does that have an origin story? The name?
It does. It's Syntax refers to a character in a book that I've been writing for actually 7 years now. I probably stopped about 5 years ago. So I think in essence I'm kind of streaming the character. Kind of.
You've become your own character?
I think I'm that guy that I wanted to write about.
He's that guy.
Can I ask more questions about this book?
I'm like putting on a show, but I'm not. It's kind of like I finally found an avenue to show me. And I know that sounds strange, but that's what Twitch is for me. So
I completely YouTube's the same. It's an extension of you, and the closer it is, the usually more entertaining and the better it is. So that's interesting. So can I ask about the book? Like, what's it about? Can you tell us?
No,
Got him. Got him.
if I tell you what it's about, it's like every other thing that's out there. So,
Okay.
All right, okay.
yeah, that's not interesting.
Loose lips sink ships.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yes.
That's all right. We'll just wait
maybe one
with
day I'll be able to get back to it, but I'm a little busy right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
just
I was gonna
working
say-
and streaming full time, and you have a monthly schedule, dude. I can't even commit to a week. I don't know how you do it.
Well, the monthly schedule kind of. I don't know that we're on my segment yet, so I don't know.
No.
Keep going.
It's all your segment, dude. The whole front
I
half
could
of the
talk
show is
about
your
that
segment.
forever, and I don't want to. Let's moving forward.
So, in Destiny terms, do you have like a favorite subclass, things like that? Like, is there a thing that defines you in Destiny, or are you an everyman?
Yes, let me tell you, there's only one class.
Oh,
and
hang on.
that's
It's
Warlock.
time.
It's what? It's what?
Get out.
So
Sorry,
So
this has
the
been a
other
wonderful
two
episode. Thanks for coming.
classes-
Yeah, thank you
The
so
other
much.
two classes are pretenders, and there's only one class, Warlock. You can choose whatever subclass you like. Warlock. There you go. And
I
well,
could've- why did you ask me, Log? I could have bloody told you that. We've had arguments about
I know.
this
I was
before.
watching. I watched these streams plenty. I knew that we were gonna. I knew I was setting myself up for a fall, but it's fine.
Do you know what'd be really funny if it was like on like April's Fools, as soon as you log in, someone just changes like you can only log in as a warlock or just one class, like it just converts.
Wait a minute. On April Fools?
Yeah.
Anything.
Let's start at April 2nd, Mylan. Let's start at April 2nd. That way it's not a joke. Okay?
I mean, it'd be horrible for me because I'm just the
Oh, my
Titan,
goodness.
fucking punching things. But it'd be challenging. I'm playing on all three platforms now. I've got 3 Titans. That's it. All one subclass. I'm a very, very boring man, but I like to punch. And so,
As
A
you
Titan
do.
that likes to punch. Never heard of one.
yeah.
Never heard.
What's your favorite piece of content in game in Destiny 2 so far? What is the one thing that you found either most rewarding or most interesting?
I mean, I didn't have to go far to look for this answer, but it's the raid.
What?
Big shocker.
Shocker.
You love gold? Is that it? You just
Well, it's not even the gold. Okay, like when I first loaded up Leviathan, and we stood there looking at it, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, look at the size of like this area. Then you turn around, and you see Nessus getting ready to be gobbled up, and I'm like, "Wow, this is huge." But it wasn't even scratching the surface. What makes the raid amazing to me is the underbelly, and the way everything has been so well crafted, and tied into each other. And yeah, the big show is like the Castellum. Go open the doors, lots of gold and shiny, pretty things. But the real game is every week how, like, every encounter give you a random key, and then the path can change, and all of that is very interesting to me. And I'm happy to see like how much care was put into the construction of the raid. Let alone the encounters themselves. The raid by and far, that was easy.
Yeah.
Comparatively to the old raids, just a little bit of a sort of a from left field here, Syn. How do you think they compare to your favourite raid from D1?
My favorite raid in D1 is King's Fall. I have 800 plus completions.
fuck.
How does
Every
it
time
compare
Log and I, it was King's Fall up on the weekly raid in Age of Triumph. We're like, yeah, no, we'll skip it this week. It's fine.
Too hard, basket. No, thank you. Goodbye.
It was too hard basket, man.
I don't know that I can compare the raids.
Fair enough.
I think
They're
it's
so
just kind
different,
of.
and they
Yeah.
scratch a different itch for me.
Yeah, Like
Makes sense,
the
makes
Vog's
sense.
always going to be the very first raid you've done in this kind of genre of game.
Right.
Crota's always going to be the most broken raid you've ever played. Oryx is always going to be extremely mechanic heavy. Axis was sort of almost a really good balance and incorporate lots of different concepts.
Well, I agree. Probably the most balanced by far as mechanics and bullet usage. But I don't know. King's Fall is special to me for many reasons, but I don't know that we want to get into them here. But comparing both of those, King's Fall, my favorite, to Leviathan, they're very, very different, and especially since I'm getting my ass stomped in Prestige Raid right now.
We will get to that. We will absolutely. I think we all. Well, you know my opinion on it, Syn, but we've spoken about this before on in regards to the Prestige Raid. But I think I tend to agree with you that Leviathan is a very well-crafted, very beautiful raid. It's just when it comes down to sometimes, well, especially with Australian internet, when we're playing, when we're at Callus, it just does its connection issue thing, and we have Australian internet issues. We've always got to face that.
I'm not the only one.
No, you have Australian internet in the United
Comcast
States
for weeks. I've been shit talking Comcast so hard. You mean to tell me I wasn't the only one having connection issues there?
No, I think it's pretty widespread, dude.
All right.
Like literally just today, like in the raid, we, narrowed it down to 2 players that hitting Scions just wasn't registering at all.
Wow,
they were hitting Scions and the barrier, and it was like, all right, we're going to practice that again. We'll see where the error is happening. Yeah, same 2 players. Like, all right, we need to reset. We need to run through the Leviathan belly again. Like, and then it solved it, but it still takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time out of your raid to do that.
Yes, and you lose a lot of momentum. There was
absolutely.
There was one encounter in particular recently where we had like nearly completed. I think it was Baths actually. I don't think it wasn't Prestige though. And one of the members went invisible. And then, of course, you die, and then that person has to leave, so everyone gets resurrected.
That's super annoying.
And then, you lose momentum there. And then, if you want to totally reset that, of course, you go to orbit, and then, if you know the way, you take the underbelly to go back to the encounter. And all of that stuff wastes time. In such a huge raid, like there's lots of things to do, right? Lots of encounters, lots of chests to go collect, and lots of jumping, people dying constantly, trying to jump across platforms. And so all of that takes more time than you want to spend when you can be spending time trying to work on like the cohesiveness of the team and get like a flow. Like tonight we went is Prestige Royal Baths. Okay. Pain in the ass, probably the worst starting rotation you can have in Prestige Raid right now. And, the first attempt was the best, and then it was like 2 hours of like no ammo. It's like going through all the issues that we're having and trying to find a fix, and you have to keep that momentum going. And the glitches and the bugs and stuff like that really kind of kill that. But I just don't want them to fix it like right before the next piece of content comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
true.
Because then it'll be like
now.
revisiting it. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
I totally agree. All right, now, are you ready? Are you ready, Syn? You've got this is your moment, man. This is it, right? This took me 1 minute to prepare. So I mean, if it all goes to shit,
so 10 out of 10 pre-production.
yeah,
1 minute.
Right. Okay. Anything could happen.
Questions from Syn City.
Actually, that sounds exactly like it does in my head when I'm reading back chat sometimes.
You mean that I am the voice inside your head, but with a pitch shifter?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, yeah.
Right.
Like, oh no, he's asking questions again.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
you came into our humble stream today, and you brought a hell of a lot of the fair inhabitants of your Syn City. So it's only fair that we answer you answer a few of their questions, and we'll be the voice of them. I mean, I noticed that you sent them through. None of them have a name attached to them, so I'm not sure if the people asking these questions are embarrassed or it's like some kind of blind drop or anything. But we're just going to go with it.
No, it was basically the easiest way to copy and paste on mobile.
Exactly. Right. Well, I mean, necessity is necessity, right? Okay.
I was trying, man.
It's fine. I mean, if you're in the chat and I read out your question, just let us know, and we'll give you the props. All right. So the first question, okay. The guided games concept has good potential, but seems to be less helpful than we'd hoped. What do you recommend to implement changes in execution to improve the experience for both seekers and guiding guardians? What would you change?
The solution for guided games is for everyone that needs people to play with to come to my channel, Twitch. No, just kidding.
Twitch.tv/SyntaxSe7en. 7 spelled with the number 7. Please come check him out. He does all right.
No, I'm kidding.
The fix is when you click on guided games, it just redirects you to a web page.
Yeah, if they could just change the button to just point right to my Twitch channel, that'd be great. Next question.
You know what? I like a concise answer, man. That's good. I can go with that.
No. Guided games. Let me tell you a little bit of story about guided games. At the premiere.
It's going to be a long story, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be a couple minutes. That really kind of put like a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't want to bring up like negative stuff, but I was at the premiere. Sitting next to a good friend of mine, you may know him, Mr. Jay Sniperton.
Who?
And
No.
They announced
Middleman.
They announced guided games, and I don't know who it was, but I heard like a rowback about how it was going to, quote unquote, destroy raid help in the directory, and that didn't really sit well with me. And I don't know why it affected me so, because I know better than that. And that's not like what, I didn't start raid help to like, corner the market on it or anything like that. But that kind of like attitude just kind of like ruined it for me early on. And I didn't give guided games a chance. I haven't even looked at it in the game. What I hear as far as complaints, so I hear like people getting like queued up with like 5 others that claim to be, what do they call them? What do they have?
Guides.
What do they call it? What is it, guide and seeker or something?
Yeah.
Well, how are people like queuing as a guide and not having completed the content, or having very little
That's
experience?
the first fix, right? That's the first.
Like
fix.
that seems like I don't know anything about making a game or any kind of programming or stuff, but that seems like a pretty easy fix, right? You can't queue as a guide if you haven't completed it.
I watched the YouTube video, dude. I watched the YouTube guide. I can do this. I can help other people do it.
Okay. But I mean, I feel like that's a good first step. I mean, it's a pretty big step, and then maybe like carry it up a couple notches. Like you have to have 5 clears or something like that. I don't know. That's one step. I think. What else would I do to kind of improve it?
I've heard is an issue.
I don't know.
People being matched with like not even English speaking.
Yeah, that's
insane.
I mean,
like
you can't. I don't think there's a fix for that per se.
Yeah, you should have a preferred language. You should have a preferred language of communication for sure.
Dude, I mean, do it by. I mean, it can't be that.
You
hard,
can't be
surely.
matched with people. People got matched with people that don't even speak, speaking Italian. How can you do a raid if someone's speaking Italian?
I get that, Matt. I get that. I'm just thinking from a purely, like, I'm in the same boat where I don't know a lot about game development, but I'm thinking that would be quite difficult to add on consoles. PC, not so much. On consoles, however, that might be a little bit difficult to add.
No, look. Seriously,
that's my thought process there.
Settings screen, drop down box, preferred language. Thank you very much. Easy. Here's log.
Yeah,
game developer.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know enough about it to
Me either.
to actually.
Oh,
But
well,
it just seems like
I don't think it's acceptable to be matched with, if you speak English and only English, I don't think it's acceptable to be matched with a whole team that speak Italian after you wait an hour. So whatever that solution is, I think it should do something there.
Absolutely. All right. Do we want to get into the next question?
Are those restrictions not there? Sorry. Are they not there because of...
I think there's just no one using it.
Really?
Well, I mean, if you're waiting for an hour, sure. I mean, there's not teams queued up to receive you as a seeker. If you're waiting for an hour to find a team, it'll be literally the first fucking. I think there's way more seekers. There's a huge mismatch between the amount of people who'd be in the seeker part and the amount of people who would be willing to be guides and have that level of experience. And I don't think it can be easily addressed.
What are the rewards for guiding?
Yeah, I think that's an issue.
You get it's the Oathkeeper score on the clan, isn't it? If you've got three, so yourself and two others from your clan, and then three, like if you're going for the raid, and then three blueberries. Is that the reward? You get a better Oathkeeper score or something like that?
It's to do with your Oathkeeper score, and I think it contributes to your overall clan experience.
Gotcha.
And I think you get an emblem. I want to say you get an emblem. I'm not 100% sure though. I 100% think you need. I think where this conversation is going is there enough incentive for people to guide people through?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're just doing it for street cred, right? There's no tangible reward. There's no, guess what? You get this, even if it was a re-skinned version of the raid weapons for guides, here you go. You get a shinier version of the gun. People would do it.
That would be crazy.
That would be so cool. That would
awesome.
get me to do guides. If you could have.
But you do it anyway for nothing, Matthew. So.
But if
do you mind if I ask chat?
Go.
Yeah, go right ahead,
for those that are in chat, who uses guided games let's say,
ever?
Let's see if there's anyone that uses it on a daily basis, or at least attempts to use it on a daily basis. I'm curious because I feel like more people still go to LFG, first.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just that's
the Xbox had an LFG. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it does. It's actually pretty.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that existed
either.
And it looks good.
It's not bad. Yeah. I've had, talking to Tower, he gets another mention. I'm pretty sure he said that he used it and it went well. What is it with Tower? Why is he's across everything. He comes up every episode. Oh, dude.
A lot of people once a week.
A lot of people are saying that I've only used it once. I used it one time for a nightfall.
Says he uses Xbox LFG. Okay.
Guided a few raids, not that often. I did attempt it. But I was sitting there waiting to guide for the second week's nightfall for about an hour and a half.
Wow.
So I couldn't get connected. Yeah, I couldn't get connected, which was kind of frustrating.
As the guide?
That being... As the guide. That is correct.
But right, okay.
It could well have been just my connection. I'm not sure how they actually choose guides per se. I live in the middle of bumfuck Idaho more or less, and so it's absolutely nowhere, and maybe that's the reason why I can't get a connection on that auto matchmaking type thing. But that being said, I can get a Crucible match within 5 minutes, if that. So I don't know.
Well, I think Jeep brings up a good point, which is what I was actually going to say next. I think you need to be able to do other activities while you matchmake.
Oh, dude. I mean, you go and play Elder Scrolls. Go play Elder Scrolls. You can be, we lost Syn. Shit.
It looked like he
tragedy strikes. He just quit. He's just not. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, he was.
He's had enough.
He was like, I'm out. I'm out of this. I'm sick of this conversation. Bye.
No, but I mean, it's how to improve the experience. That's the question right here, just to keep the conversation going. Is that, as Syn said and as the chat said, it's got to be
right,
better rewards. Sorry. Welcome back. Damn it, Comcast.
God damn it!
But
I was just gonna yell at Bungie servers again. Is that all right?
Go. We can blame them.
Just
we
kidding.
Can blame
I'm
them.
just kidding, man. Just kidding.
but it's like the better rewards for one. Like the Oathkeeper score, that's all well and good to get your clan's oath. Well, it's Oathkeeper score up, and that's all well and good to go. Yeah, we're one of the better clans that do the God of Games thing, but
Still no tangible reward.
What is the other reward for it per se? So I don't know. I don't know.
So I think we've given
Sloth.
lots of suggestions on that. There's rewards. There's how they matchmake. There's having other activities whilst you matchmake. All things that would contribute to a better experience in guided games.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll do the
Let's go to the next
we'll do the
question.
right thing. I mean, this is a monster question. I'm not sure how are we gonna. I'm gonna take a deep
Give me
breath.
your
And I'm
best
gonna
shot.
try and get through it all. It's like 1,000 questions bundled into one, but with one very important question at the end, I believe. All right, Syn. If you were to modify the existing token system earned after completing events, checkpoints, and opening chests, what would you do? Managing inventory always takes away from time to enjoy playing the game. What improvements would you recommend to streamline the loot that we collect? Bungie gave you exactly what you were looking for the prestige rate. An increase in difficulty without artificially increasing the skill gap through power level. It's truly a great sense of accomplishment to complete, especially helping those that would never attempt it on their own. Will you return to those who want to complete the regular raid instead, or focus on prestige? I could ask these all day, but what we really want to know is how many sub points do we need to get on to get the Nana suit back? Syn Nana, get it back. Where is it? That is what people want to know, man. And holy shit, I need to go and get on like oxygen or something. For God, so who wrote that? Please.
Okay, so
I tried.
well, I mean, log. I copied and pasted it, and I figured you might like pluck something out of there.
No, I thought it was perfect in that it was this
cherry
massive.
pick a question.
Yeah, but I did.
He's like,
I
no,
got one
let's
at the
just
end.
go with the whole
The
paragraph
whole thing, just
right now. Right now.
No, all the pre-production was lost on the bloody
Yeah.
on the
No,
intro.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was doing,
oh.
just putting shit to music rather than actually. I just thought it was funny that it was this wall of text and then like all these serious questions and then just where's Syn Nana? That's all I really want to know.
Syn Nana's important, all right?
The nanner may return at some point.
Oh, dude,
And it might be SyntaxSe7en Nanner 2.0. Okay.
Oh, exciting.
But anyways, going back to the other stuff, the Destiny stuff, token system. I think they did a good job of reducing the amount of currency as opposed to what was going on in Destiny 1. There was way too many currencies in D1. Right now, I would get rid of the token system. This is the MMO in me. Get rid of tokens. Don't give me 6 tokens. Give me 1, or something like that. Something like just reduce the numbers, and use them for very specific things. Not, hey, go complete the raid, get all your tokens, go to the vendor, and he gives you the same shit that you've been getting every week. Don't do that. Just make the encounters, drop the loot. I think that would go a long way. I don't like how they did tokens for Iron Banner. I didn't even play it. I'm not a fan of, and I've never really been a fan of it, even when I played MMOs of, you get like a piece of duplicate gear and you take it to a vendor and you trade it in for points towards something that you don't have. I've never really been a fan of that. I like to grind for a specific drop. Tonight I got the prestige raid boost for the Warlock, and I felt like I had actually gotten something special.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't have them. Now that's not like the popular opinion.
I think it like I don't think people have a problem with grinding, but it's when the grind goes from Destiny 2 launch in the common normal game, and it's really friendly, and it's not that hard to grind to get what you want. You're given exotics, you're getting shit thrown at you left, right, and center, and then you jump into something like either the raid or Iron Banner, and the RNG of it just goes into punish mode, and all of a sudden you've got to pay 36 levels of fucking Iron Banner and like 1,000 games to even have a chance of getting the whole set that you're chasing. And I mean, yeah, it also raises the point that, you know, maybe you don't want to get everything in the first Iron Banner week because it gives you something to do the next time it comes around. But looking at going forward, even in this week's TWAB, there's a fucking what looks like different Iron Banner armor again. So where, you know, are we going to be able to get a chance to get all this shit before the season changes and it drops out the loot cycle? I don't know. I mean, I think that's people's frustration, is that they're worried that they're not going to actually get a fair chance at getting this stuff.
Yeah, and it's like there's not enough time in a week for, like, people already know, the loot isn't smart enough. Like, you're not having smart loot where you're just getting ridiculous amounts of duplicates and it's all RNG and it's tokens and you can't purchase the gear that you might want. So why even start? And that was my opinion of Iron Banner. Like, I'm not even going to start this because I'm going to not even get one piece of armor. So what's the point? And, you know, it needs to be achievable goals. If they're going to do seasons, it needs to be reasonable that you could collect a full set if you were dedicated. And if you weren't dedicated, at least you'll get one or two pieces. And if you're really casual, you might get one bit. But I don't feel like there was those like intermediate goals.
I feel like they've always struggled with the carrot on the stick and giving you too much that you want too quick. I think they started messing around with the smart loot thing in Kingsfall. You know, before they moved it from 320 to 335. It's kind of where they started to kind of get it right, it felt like. I don't want tokens. I don't want tokens. I want the game to know what I have. Say, oh well, he's gotten the boots 3 times. Maybe we should drop the chest or something like that. It needs to be able to look at what you at your history, and I don't want to say give you what you want, because you can't just give everything that people want, because then they're going to leave, and that's the problem they're running into.
It's a balance.
Yeah,
they're trying to find a balance. And I don't think they ever will. I don't think they can. Not like this. And it's carrot on the stick. And they just want to see how long you guys will chase, and then go. Let's see how long we can let them go before they complain. All right. Let's reel them back in and let's give them.
Let's give them a nibble on the carrot for a bit.
It's like we're either 10 miles that way or we're right here, and it's so hard to find a balance. I would prefer that. You could be confident you go into the raid and get it completed and get at least one piece that you didn't have before somewhere. And
yep.
I don't think that's hard to achieve, but what am I? I just play the game.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they did have smart loot. We've had the smart loot implemented. Like, you look at what's it called? Festival of the Cost. You would get things that you hadn't got yet. You didn't get all that many duplicates. As it stands now, it's like, oh, okay, here's Log. He's got another exotic. Cool. So he's had 6 vigilance wings. Well, let's definitely give him another 6 vigilance wings before he gets anything else. That's all you get.
Right.
So I think that they need to make it a bit friendlier, and, you know, like, smart loot would be a great place to start. But you're right. If they implement it and it's too strong and you get everything you want, then what are you playing the game for in 3 weeks' time when everything's dropped and you've got it all? You know, beyond friendship.
I'm going to find a reason to play the game, you know, for other reasons. But I get that they're, like, trying to prolong the content. I just don't like it being done with a random engram at a vendor.
Yep.
If they want to do tokens, that's fine. Make it so you can buy whatever you want. Make it expensive. Whatever. You got to grind a shit ton of tokens to get this thing. You know you'll get it. Fine.
Yeah. That would be great, actually.
I think that's sort of where they're going to
I mean, how many tokens did you get at Iron Banner match?
Fuck. Well, you win 5, you got 2.
Okay, so if you won, you got 5. All right. And you lost, you got 2. If you made, all right, say you want you want the pulse rifle, you can go buy it for 35 tokens or something. Yes, sounds crazy, right? But you know what people will do? They're going to go get their pulse rifle. They're going to go get it.
I completely. It's just like it's like Bungie setting goals for you, right? And everyone can do the math on it. Everyone's like, okay, if I want to get X amount of tokens, I need to play X amount of games. All right, I'm really busy at work today. I'm going to freaking smack it out this afternoon. I'm going to play 5 games today. I'm going to play 2 games tomorrow. I'm going to get my pulsey. Done.
Yep.
And no one can see what the goal is now. There's way too much randomness. You can't go, okay, I want to get like a full set of gear for Leviathan. That's not even like anywhere in the goal sphere of being possible.
It's not in the it's like we're kind of floating around like let's see what I'll get type thing, and it's too much RNG and it doesn't feel like it's obtainable. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to see it though, because I still have fun just booting up the game and killing shit.
Yeah, dude. I think we're all there, really. Like that's our place, but that's not everyone. So I've got to be mindful of it too.
It's not everyone, and I understand the frustration. They're like, hey man, I work every single day. I've got an hour and a half to play, and I got shit today, and that's that's how that's the reality of it right there. That's the normal player that's trying to feel like they accomplished something for their time investment. And I just have a hard time seeing it that way. But I get the frustrations, and it just seems like they'll never find a balance for loot.
That fits everyone. That's the problem, is that it's either too easy for those who are hardcore or too hard for those who aren't. And it's, the balance.
But don't you think we were really close with Rise of Iron though when we finished D1?
I think they were. I really think they were. I mean, no one was complaining about everything being too easy to get. I think
what happened though, it spilled, that we felt good about it, but was it the right way to do it, or was it because we were used to it and we knew something new was coming?
Yeah, that's a fair point. That is a fair point.
How, like I know that it looked good, it felt good to play. I mean, and then I felt like, other than, going after the Nano Phoenix, I felt like it was in a good spot, even though the Nano Phoenix chase in the raid was, I don't know, it was kind of fun to me. It was like a cosmetic thing that you didn't really need, but it was also a badge. It was like, hey man, check out what I got today type thing,
I think Destiny 2, for want of a better term, and I don't mean to, I'm not punching holes in the game, but it kind of lacks those things at the moment. Like there's things that are like so RNG based that are so rare that they become like that cult item. I don't know. I mean, I'm literally fucking contradicting myself in saying that, because I'm like, everything needs to be attainable, but some things need to not be, but they need to be things that don't matter in any way.
I know. And that's what's hard. That's the hard
It's
part.
so hard. Like how do you even express that without somebody hearing it one way and then another person hearing it another? It's like, I mean, I understand you. I get it. I get it. But
I think you've got to be preaching to the choir like I am right now. I've got 3 other dudes in a podcast and all sort of think the same way. But I
think what complicates things is just, first of all, the power level thing. Like, at what point are people really chasing gear, or are they chasing a number?
Yeah. It's ultimately redundant. It doesn't really mean anything anyway. Like, it doesn't change the encounters.
Number went up. My bar went up 0.1. My overall power went up. Like that. I mean, that relates to the real world. Like that's how people see an increase. What do you want to see? A higher number in your banking account, or a lesser number? You know what I mean? Like, and that's why it resonates with people like that. But I think it also complicates it. Like, if we took the numbers out, okay, and we had gear that's did very specific things. Yes, I know people mentioned how like the raid gear in D1 did certain things in the raid and stuff like that. But if I don't know that they could do it, but if you had to go out into like the patrol and there was like a special enemy that spawned, I don't know, once every 3 hours, okay, and it had a 50% chance of dropping something that made you able to sneak past the dogs in the raid. You know, like special things like that. It's not necessary. You can complete the encounter without it, but
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Instead of going like to the raid to get powerful, you know, stuff to help you, go elsewhere to push you towards the raid type things, or push you towards PvP, or, you know, I don't know that I know the answer, but things don't feel special when it's just a number, because I spent so much time like just, okay, I need a 300 hand cannon so that I can put it into Sunshot. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you look for. You're looking for the number, and like the uniqueness of the gear is gone because it's just a number.
Yeah, I reckon, like, you know, and I think we're all in the same boat with, we don't really know how to get there, but I feel like we're basing it on like an emotion. We want to feel like that item has value, and right now it's this weird thing where they're not dropping enough, so for some reason it loses a lot of its value, and you sort of like, you want the feeling like, so Vault the Glass, right, when that first came out, you would run around following people that had like the full set. You're like, holy shit, how did they get that? And that gear had value, and it wasn't necessarily about its power value. It was like, that looks badass, I want to get to being like that. And I don't feel like anything really does that yet in D2, that really gives you that like functional special, like, oh yeah, and you know, we're saying, oh, but that makes it harder. Like, I feel like there needs to be a set that's, you know, a medium difficulty that you'll get most of them, and then you got your prestige rage set should be, the prestige rage set should be like the Vault of Glass set in year one. Should be like, holy shit, that dude has prestige raid, full gear set. You get a raid drop on everything. It means he's done it at least 5 times, blah, blah, blah. That's where I want to get to. Send a friend request.
Can you help me?
search Twitter for the dude. If he's, search Twitch, see if he's a streamer.
I wonder if his Twitter matches his gamer tag. Let me see if
yeah, man. All right, now there's one other question, and I think it'll lead into something that I'm going to do that's a little bit different that I haven't done before. But the PC community opening, I guess the question basically, how will expanding to the PC change the Destiny community? Now, there are changes already that I've noticed, but Syn, what do you think? Like, is it going to be an overwhelmingly positive thing, do you think, or it's, you know, it comes with its own fair share of thorns?
Well, my original fear when it was first announced was all I was going to have in my chat was PC Master Race all the time, and I haven't encountered it once. Yeah. I don't think it hurts. I think at least from what I've seen early on, it's kind of a positive thing, but I don't know if that's because they're all trying to grind, get ready for the raid, just don't have time to type in chat. But I mean,
everyone's just hitting it really hard.
I want to believe that it's a good thing. It is so nice to play on PC. My God,
isn't it? It is
a beautiful thing.
I was talking to Sloth the other night, and I said to him, it's completely unnecessary. And with respect to, like, you get exactly the same game, but it's like going from cotton bed sheets to silk bed sheets.
It is
completely superfluous, but it fucking just feels a bit better and is a bit smoother, right?
It's a beautiful thing, man. And I don't know. At first, I was like, none of my friends are going to be over there. You know, nobody's going to want to play PC. And then it turns out there's quite a few people that have been like, you know what? I'm going to invest in a computer. I'm going to play this on PC, and I've had the pleasure of playing with them. And it's nice to see that people will go that route, and it shows you. I haven't met a single person that I've had like a long conversation or say that or call them a friend that only plays on PC right now. I know it's early, but everyone that I've seen has gone from console.
Yeah,
right? That's where the whole player base was.
Yeah,
you know, they didn't. There's been a few people that show up. Hey, I've never played Destiny before. I'm getting ready to pick it up on PC. What do you think? Can you tell me about it? And that's different because they're a PC gamer. But when you see console gamers investing lots of money to go play it on PC, it tells you a lot about the game, and it tells you a lot about the people. And man, it's so nice. Actually, I want to go play it. You guys pick it.
So are you punishing yourself with the keyboard? Are you trying to do that? Because
I'm playing with a controller.
Yeah, same here. Okay.
Destiny is a controller game for me. I don't think people want to watch me.
I'm persisting with the keyboard and mouse.
Are you?
The mouse is just, it's so nice to shoot stuff with the mouse. I don't know why. It just is. I'm awful with it. I'm completely potato with it. But do you know what? I was like, this is a skill. The mouse and keyboard is something that you need to keep practicing, just like using a controller. And if I give up on that, then I'll never get better at it. So I'm just going to force myself to keep using the mouse.
Cool.
You might get better, Matt. I've played PUBG with you. You might get better.
Anyway, the other thing I want to touch on, and I've got a bit of ambience prepared. Now,
me brace.
This week I went on Twitter, and it was a pretty grim place. Especially around launch day. There's a lot of people very upset about some bans being thrown around. People very hurt, people throwing accusations around, and a lot of misinformation being spread. Now, to those people who were incorrectly banned, I believe a lot of them have been lifted. But if you're one of the 400 people that Bungie has deliberately banned after the beta, and you will not be playing Destiny 2, sincerely, from me, for cheating, eat shit. Because guess what? For the rest of us, it sounds a hell of a lot more like this, right? Get the fuck out! We don't want to hear it anyway. You got Cheat Engine installed? Get! No one wants you. Hex Editor? Get! You don't need to be here. Eat a dick. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. No one wants you. Goodbye. The end. That's my little rant. I just wanted to do that. I just want to fuck around with it.
That was beautiful. The only thing I'm disappointed is you spent more time on that than you did my pre-production.
No, I didn't. All right, but speaking of a bit of pre-production, here we go. News. All right, there has been a shitload of news this week. Seriously, there has been an absolute ton. This week at Bungie was thick with content, so we've got a bit to get through. Slothy, do you want to do the honors, man? You like doing this stuff.
Absolutely. And this week at Bungie, Christopher Barrett has addressed a bit of sort of future-proofing for Destiny 2 to try and get some people back in whom have left, and they want to get people excited for the next DLC and so forth. So straight out of the TWAB this week, new systems and rewards to give our most engaged players additional and optional pursuits. So if you're a hardcore player like Syn, or if you're kind of scrubby like the other three of us, we're just it's good to see some different and not necessarily something you have to do, but it is there to be done.
Sleeper simulant.
Yeah, some exotic quests would be nice.
That would be all right.
Exotic quests would be really good.
And better incentives for players who complete challenging prestige activities. Now, that is something that Syn, you know my thoughts on this and all that sort of thing. And you guys and anyone who has watched the podcast know my thoughts on this. That is incredible. I just hope that it's...
what could it be? What do you think it'd be? Honestly, can I ask you a question? Let me ask you this.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
What would it have to be for you?
To be worth the headache of the prestige raid, after talking to Sazio, Doma, a few other people who have done the prestige, it would have to be a fairly large light increase, and the weapons and the armor would have to look significantly different and or have an aura to want to... I haven't even attempted the prestige raid.
Or
haven't
perk,
even attempted
or a raid perk or something.
Yeah,
I call it head versus brick wall, actually. That's what I call it. I don't even call it the prestige raid anymore.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
That's
I
a
reckon
pretty. That's a.
light
No, I think it's
level-
fair.
Light level or completely different aesthetics that is noticeable in the tower and all that kind of stuff, or like or completely different weapons, or like perks, like raid specific perks or something like that.
If they're going to do the token system, if they're going to keep the token system, I would like guaranteed armor drops or guaranteed armor drops at each encounter.
Yeah, all that. That would be an okay start.
So
Let me the power thing. Why the power?
because
Everyone can get 3 or 5 without doing a raid.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
But that doesn't play into their locking people out of certain.
it's honestly, Sin. I just a power that's where my mind first went to when I first saw the prestige raid. I was like, it's not really worth it. It's not really worth it if we can't go any higher in power, and if the armor is relatively average. And after watching people complete the raid, you know, yourself, Jay, Saz, Doma, like all those lovely people that do it, all you lovely people who do it, it doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't do as many carries. I don't do as many carries as you guys, but it's just. Sorry, carries. Raid help, rather. I don't do raid help as much as you guys, but like even when I do, it's so frustrating. It's frustrating, and I don't really get anything out of it.
A power increase. What this will do is make that end game activity easier and easier, so you can keep helping other people to get through it. Because that prestige right now never becomes easier just for a power light increase.
Yeah,
that's
and I
always
think
going
that's
to
why
be
I'm
tough.
torn. I think that's why I'm torn. I enjoy the prestige challenge. I think it's a top tier challenge. Yeah, there's some RNG shit in there that drives me crazy, but for one time, we have like this difficult encounter that you can't get increases from, that you can't carry. You have to work together.
You can't.
You have to earn it, and I like that. But we spent like 3 days in the same encounter. On the flip side, on the streamer side, for me, it's tough because people have told me that it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch so much struggle.
Yeah,
and
so much pain.
There will always be that struggle with no power increase, because especially with the way I do things. And I essentially raffle 5 spots and wing it and see what happens. And that's not going to make that any easier. But the feeling of completing the prestige raid was probably like, I won't say it's the best, but it was like tied for the top feeling I've ever had in Destiny. Felt like I had actually slayed a dragon with my bare hands, and and you can't do that again, but I only have 2 prestige clears, one on Xbox and one on PlayStation, and you can't duplicate that again. So I mean, like even this week, we raffled a team, and there was one person that couldn't even load it because they hadn't completed the normal raid. So streamer guy has to look at like what's best for the majority.
I didn't realize that. So you can't load it unless you've done the normal?
You cannot.
No.
And
I didn't realize that.
You can't bring anybody in. They have to have completed it.
That's fair enough, I think.
I think it's fair.
I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people in chat saying that the light increase only for the raid would be unfair and uninclusive or non-inclusive for people who
got an
don't
idea.
get to play as often. But it's the I don't want the raid to be the only way to get to, let's say they up the power level to 310, 315, thereabouts.
How
I
about
don't want
this?
the raid to be the only way of getting it that way, but that's
I don't think
that's
they'll
what
ever
it
do that
take me
again.
to get over.
I think they won't do that.
Yeah, like
again.
look at it this
Yeah.
way. Look at it this way, right? I mean, they've made pretty clear that their philosophy is that everyone can get to top level, right? Their philosophy, as it stands, and especially by not raising the light level for the prestige raid, you got to accept the fact that Bungie's philosophy is that they want everyone to be able to get to max level, which kind of makes it ultimately redundant. But what if, instead of that light increase being what makes the raid easier, we look at something, and we go to that because it's the precedent. It's what we're used to. It's what, it was King's Fall. It was, what if we take another precedent we've already got, and we look at Wrath of the Machine, and instead of raising light, doing the raid and completing the prestige raid and getting gear from it is what makes it easier. You get inherent buffs for armor pieces.
Yes.
That would be a good way.
That would be
like-
awesome.
And people would do it. It incentivizes it. Shit, man, I want to run the prestige raid again this week because I really want those
Or,
arms that,
Like right now,
like
for,
double
for the
ammo
Royal
drops.
Baths in Prestige, I would love to have something that nullifies the Legionnaire's grenade damage or something. Like
Yeah.
something like that.
That
Like
would be
if you earn that, yes, that's what we need. And that's not power. That's not a number. That's what we need. We
Exactly.
need perks.
it's a dynamic
just to-
difference.
Oh, you completed the hardest
Done.
shit in the game. This is what you
Done.
get. And it's not a power increase. And I think that's probably the balance. They've got to be going there. Or they can go down a couple of different paths. They could say, okay, so most people are going to stop at 305, but you can get to 315 if you master the Nightfall, if you master the raid, if you master trials, and you get like a special set that gives you the 315 or something like that. These are the paths they have to do. They have to decide. They have to commit to one or the other. I don't like participation trophies of everyone gets a chance at the highest because they paid.
No.
That's
All
just
right.
our generation,
Apologies,
but man.
everyone. Apologies. I
I
have to head off. I
Matt's gotta
apologize.
go to PhD.
I've been really busy with study at the moment. I've got to go
Bye,
collect
Matt.
some data. Thank you for having me, guys.
Bye,
well,
Brian.
thank you for having myself. I'm one of the hosts. Fuck you. All right, bye.
Thank you for having myself.
Thank
You-
you for oh my goodness.
You are a dipshit. Get
Get out.
Bye. Fucking hell.
Numpty.
Dude,
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
And
It'll line up again in a sec. But I mean, I know it was my idea, but I think that is a way of raising people's interest in endgame content without having to have superficial shit like numbers to chase. Like a light level increase of 10 light. I mean, yeah, it'd make a noticeable difference, but it wouldn't be that much. Where if you can get, I mean, even this is probably going to ruin the idea entirely, but what if the rolls on the armor that you could get were RNG, like good old Destiny 1, to give you real incentive that I got the arms, but they had this perk, but I really want this perk.
I got the Scion set that makes some little bastards die when they run past me. They just drop dead. Like
I
yeah,
can look at
something.
them and they die.
I looked at them and he died. You need something special, like like have special things that counteract the Cabal abilities, something like that. But you have to complete it. You have to complete this prestige raid one time without that stuff. And
Absolutely,
then on
yeah.
subsequent clears, you start getting rewards that are like that. Yeah, I'm for that, for sure. For sure.
Excellent. So what else have we got in the TWAB slothy? Let's charge on through because there's a shit.
Alright,
load.
so better rewards and replay value for strikes, adventures, and lost sectors, which is kind of nice, kind of a nice touch to that because the lost sectors were a great idea. Are a great idea. I think they're very sort of provide an interesting change from D1 to D2. I actually really enjoyed going through all the planets on my first character and going through all the lost sectors, all the little bits and pieces that you could find around the maps. That was kind of cool. So to boost the replayability of that is kind of awesome. And one thing that people have been, well, not screaming for per se, but people have been asking for, and then there are people who have been screaming for them as well, but private PvP matches. Now that, not so much for me because I'm not a PvPer. And Syn, I know that you don't play a lot of PvP on stream.
No, I don't. I haven't played very much PvP at all in D2. The only time I really played any was trying to get ready for the raid before the raid launched.
But people who do the screenshot things, or people who are very competitive, i.e. like our friend of the cast, Teams of Wood, does the private PvP matches, or did them in D1. Loved it. It was a great sort of, good practice for trials and all that sort of thing. But PvP, the private matches in PvP for people like Serendipity and Jazzy, and those people that take screenshots and like to go around and wander around the maps and really admire the beauty of the game, because it is a very, very, very beautiful game. Yes. The skyboxes are incredible. The world, the way that the worlds are all done is absolutely incredible. But yeah. So early 2018 is what old matey said.
Old matey, and just old mate.
CG Barrett, sorry, I had a brain fart. It's fine. And then Crucible tuning, like adjusted supremacy scoring and better spawning rules. Now, I don't know about you guys in the chat, you guys in the YouTube comments, Syn, Log, but the PvP needs to be adjusted quite significantly for me to be able to sit there and play it over and over like we used to when Iron Banner was on. We'd roll 6 people from the clan in Iron Banner and just steamroll teams or get steamrolled.
Can you can you quantify it? Can you put your finger on what?
Well, for one, the mercy rule needs to be a little bit fixed a little bit, because we've dropped into games where it's 5 to 65 and there's no mercy rule there. So if a team is being beaten significantly, the cutoff needs to be higher for the losing for the losing team. So if they're losing by 40 points, oh shit, maybe we should call it and get into a new match. Maybe separate the teams that way. I think that is one major thing. And I don't know, the 4v4 Crucible is a bit average for me. I like 6v6. 6v6 was us.
Would you be content with 6v6 quick play, 4v4 competitive?
That's a good point. That's a good question. I would like to say yes, but the maps aren't really made for 6v6 at this point in time. They're quite small. They are made for 4v4. So I don't know.
Some of them are fucking huge, man. Like, think about Vostok. Distant Shores is a Destiny 1 map, effectively. There's still... I think you could put 6v6 in, and we're probably going to find out come fucking the release of custom games, because I imagine, is 4v4 really going to be the limit in that? Like, is that
I hope not.
The hard limit? I'd like to be able to have more people in. I think probably one of the most understated things and quality of life things that kind of went backwards between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 was the 4-man Crucible. And I still don't understand it, because it's one of the... you don't notice it until you are the 4th man, right? That everyone goes, okay, we've finished playing PvP now, we're going to go and do a Nightfall. All right, so who doesn't do the Nightfall? It's not your team splits in half because it was 6v6 and 3 and 3 and you just go and do it. Now there's just one asshole who's like, oh, it's okay, I was going to go to the tower anyway, you guys go and do it. Like, I think in that sense they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. It's either that or make the PvE activities 4-player. Like, and then it levels out. I think it's one of those things that it's just understated. But I mean, I can talk about this sort of shit all day. But I was just interested to hear. I was just interested to hear whether there was like you could put your finger on what it was about the PvP, because for me, I'm happy with it. Like I can sit, but that's just kind of the dude I am. I can sit there and talk shit and play games, and I don't get too emotionally invested when I'm getting flogged. I have a laugh when I'm winning and stomping on people's heads, and that is what it is. I mean, I have been put into some shitty games.
That we know each other, Log?
I'm not talking to you, you fucking dipshit. Like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm not fucking selling myself to you. I'm trying to explain to people who might not know me, man. God. Fuck this. Moving on.
There's a few other bits and pieces. Better incentives for completing Crucible matches and penalties for quitting competitive games. That is something that it does, that it absolutely needs. People, as soon as they see a 4-stack, they're like, oh, I've got to quit, and just fuck off and leave one dude going, well, I'm, just about to get my butt beaten for 5 minutes, so, let's make a game of it. But, so penalties against people who leave early is definitely something that at least I'm looking forward to. Continued improvements to Iron Banner faction rallies, including the uniqueness of rewards. Now, I didn't actually do too much of the faction rallies because I was doing something. I can't remember. I've slept since then. But it was from what people have told me, the armor pieces were pretty average. The weapons were very muchly similar looking. So it was only the shaders that really sort of made a difference. Syn, did you get it right into the faction rally stuff?
No. I didn't really do much of it at all. I was still focused on trying to get through the raid consistently at the time.
I think it was one of those things that kind of came
wasn't
in.
a focus for me.
It came in and it seemed like it was going to be something that was far greater than it was, and it was like I was really enthusiastic about it until I realised that every armor piece you could get was a reskin of a piece that was already in the game. It was just coloured differently. And that, for me,
it was
sapped my
enthusiasm. It was great,
like that.
great presentation, I think. And I liked it. I liked how everyone was excited about it. And I just, I think what really killed, I think I talked about it then, what kind of kills these kind of events for me is there's no real way to collect anything. It's just pile the shit in the vault or in your inventory. I think they need to bring back a record book. And in the record book, let's say we have a page for the Dead Orbit armor set, and show that you're missing the helmet, missing the boots, and that would give me an incentive to collect. Versus, in my inventory, I have a cluster of shit the same way I did in D1, and I have no desire to collect. And since there's, they even I think even Luke called it a collecting game, but the items to collect they're not organized. That's
such a basic
set up a way
idea. Hey?
that makes me want to collect. If there was a pay the record books we had throughout Destiny, there was a set, a page for the IO armor set for Warlock, or the Nessus armor set, that sort of thing. That would make me want to go try to farm for that. But if I'm just going to place it in the vaults or in my inventory, and it doesn't feel special to me. It doesn't make me want to collect.
Yeah.
I need, and ideally, and I think a lot of people have said this before. Give me a Mass Effect style ship. Give me an armory for my guns, like a trophy type display. Give me a room for all of my armor sets that are on mannequins or whatever, to show me what I have, show me what I have to collect, and that would transform this game. But just piling squares into a vault does nothing for me. It just makes me want
I think you touched on a very valid point in that it ticks a huge box for people who are completionists. I'm not. I just dismantle shit I don't want. I don't care. Like, there's guns that I might hang on to because I'm worried that they're going to become the meta.
Exactly.
But that's it. Like, I either get armor pieces I like, or I get armor pieces that I don't like and I pull them apart, and that's it. But to have I guess what you're talking about is like a combination between the record books from Destiny 1 and the kiosks from Destiny 1. If you had either a kiosk you could turn up to that had, these are all the things you've collected, and the armor pieces that you've received are in there irrespective of whether you've dismantled them or not. You can pull them back out. Everything's a static roll these days. Nothing changes. There's no reason that it can't be in a vault like that. You know, there's not like you're grinding for different rolls. So why can't we do that? And then, I mean, you put the cherry on top by, guess what? All this shit's in your ship, and you can go and look at the Iron Man gallery of armors that you've got and collected. I mean, I need to go and have a fucking lie down after this. I'm excited. This is serious stuff, man.
Doesn't that, even if you're not a collector,
I'd do it.
Wouldn't that make you want to get up and go collect something? And just even if it was just one piece, you say, you know what, I went and I got the raid helmet today, and there it is. There it is, right here in this room. You know, like displayed, not stuffed in a inventory style vault that's not attractive to look at. And maybe it's like not realistic, but that's what I want. Just give me the record book. Give me a page that has the raid page for all the raid gear, and let me fill it in. Perfect. Give me an emblem after I fill the page. Bam.
Maybe having one of the amazing artists that they have there do like a record book, and
the presentation goes so far. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
So that's what it is. Like when you first booted up Destiny 2, and Gaul kicked you off the ship. I mean, they had us. You know what I mean? Like, you have no power, and like the presentation of everything has been awesome, and they just need to make the things that are supposed to carry the game after the newness wears off. They need to work on those presentation pieces too.
Absolutely.
You know, to make it more attractive to play, to continue to play.
Now, another thing that actually did make me excited, and it kind of sort of alleviates my worry for the lack of random rolls. Now that's not a thing anymore, there's static rolls, but the mod economy rather more interesting and impactful. Now, when I thought this, I actually saw a tweet. I can't remember who said it or where the tweet came from. I think it might have been the DCP. I cannot remember for the life of me, but I will find it. But imagine if you had a particular scout rifle, like a Frontier something or other. I think it's Zavala's, like the Vanguard. No, not the Vanguard Scout. That's nameless. Some scout rifle or a hand cannon or something. But you had a mod that you could go, oh, maybe I want Firefly on this. Maybe I want Outlaw on this. And you go and grind for that mod.
Dude,
you go and grind for the
perks
the top
as
mods.
mods. Perks as mods. It is the way of the future. Customize.
I mean, but
shit.
do we just get back to what they tried to get rid of? You know, like
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But I think,
But I think that was the best Destiny we had. You know, like we had like there was people that played just to farm Lunas at one point. Like that was like the thing. Like I'm going to get this role, and I might not get it this week, but maybe we'll get it next week type thing. And they keep playing. If you put those perks on mods, we have essentially the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Except for everybody staring at the gunsmith.
Yeah, instead of farming guns, people are farming the mods for the guns. You know what? I'll cop that. Maybe it's not ideal, but I do think that there's going to be something coming, and whether it's mods to just increase like agility and stuff like that, whether it's more basic stuff, more entry level. You know, like you can pull the mods out of armor, and they're not just sort of these additional arbitrary buffs. You can actually change the way that piece of armor functions. You know, it goes from being agility armor to recovery armor. You can swap the stats around so that you can look the way you want and play the way you want. I think that's that was. I mean, listening to DCP a few weeks back, that was basically everyone was on board with a system like that. That increases the amount of customization you can do without getting ridiculous about having to make it a huge complicated system, and it'd still be pretty easy. Here's the mods that dictate what perks your armor has. Boom, done.
All right. So, and a lot of people in Twitch chats, Twitter, Reddit, ongoing improvements to exotics, including adjustments to reduce instances of duplication. Now, for me, it was Lunar Faction boots. Yes, reduce. Thank you. I speak English.
No. I just wanted to just reiterate the fact that they said reduce.
Reduce, yes.
Not eliminate. Not
sorry,
eliminate.
I
reduce.
thought I said something. I thought I said something.
No.
Something. I thought I couldn't English there for a second.
Okay. Have you listened to me talk? Oh my god.
Oh my god! But no, for me it was Lunar Faction boots. For a friend of mine, it was Lucky Pants.
For me, it's fucking Vigilance wings. I want to vomit every
Lunar
time I see
Faction
one.
boots. What are those? What?
Day 50 still no June marches. Like, I don't know. It might not even be 55
Wow,
days.
really?
Fuck.
You've got June marches. You got June marches on the wrong console.
I've got them once.
Oh, one of those. Yeah, I get to experience that too.
It's painful. It's painful. Anyway.
It's and then like yourself, Sin, you've probably got what, like 2,000 legendary shards on your account on each console.
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Can we go back to the mod thing for a second? What if there was a way to like kind of build your own mods? I mean, I know that I keep leaning towards like MMO kind of stuff, but maybe a crafting system to where even if it involved, like you could go and this adds more currency to the game, which I'm not really a fan of, but like you would farm certain planetary materials to combine with legendary shards to make certain mod type thing.
It'd give it
I don't know if that's. I think it would help maybe, but I think really people just want random rolls back.
As it stands, it's kind of the most rudimentary crafting system ever. Like the mods, it's basically get a legendary mod, pull it apart, and then get a random roll for another legendary mod.
Right.
It kind of is there, but I agree that it would be nice to be able to increase the predictability of what you get out of things. Like if you could go, I need to go and do this to get this, and that comes back to what we were talking about with the Iron Banner gear half an hour ago. If you have a clear set of things that, no matter how hard they are, that you need to do, it seems fair. Like it's not. It becomes far less punishing than just the RNGs. Hold cross your fingers and pray every time you fucking talk to the Cryptarch. It's or the gunsmith as this case may be, but yep.
And there's a point that's just been raised by Jay Maldo in the chat as well. Gears should still need to be leveled.
Great point.
I'm lazy.
I don't think that it should be fully unlocked. So it should be like if we get a random weapon, are you gonna like? All right, let's look at me as my military background. If I pick up an Ostire A3, am I going to know how to use that gun straight off the bat, or do I have to learn how to use it? So shouldn't they sort of have that sort of thing and just be like, oh, so maybe I need to learn how to use Firefly properly to unlock Firefly. Maybe I need to go and learn.
I like that.
So you think you could have specific challenges to unlock perks? Like,
I like that a lot.
There we go.
That's a great idea.
We should just call this the Destiny Down Under fucking brainstorming session.
I like that a lot. That is a great idea.
You know what? We'll fix your fucking game.
Blow up shit with Sunshot. You have to get so many precision kills to unlock the fun. But in doing that, can we make sure I don't get another Sunshot?
Yes.
No,
you'll get Vigilance Wing forever, just again and again and again.
That would be fun. I think people would love that. I think, oh man, to make, I got a raid tonight and I really want to use this, so I have to I have to make sure this gun will blow up shit. So let's go out and do the quest, unlock the final perk, and raid tonight with it. I like that idea. That's great. That's awesome, man.
I didn't actually think of that when I was talking about it, but there you go.
Oh, wait a minute.
That was all you, Syn. That was all you, man.
No, I don't think
You
so.
were
I don't think so.
impressed by your own idea.
It wasn't my idea.
And then one thing that people I know for a fact people have been asking for an emote wheel. But it's an emote interface per se, where you can equip the season 1 exotic emotes, your salty, spicy ramen, 6-shooter, and flip out all at the same time, which is kind of cool. It's kind of moving towards where a lot of people want to go. Like if you want to equip 2 emotes on left on the D-pad, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the right, and 2 on the top, I'd be down for that.
I just think that they've got to
Does
allow
that mean I
you to
have
be
to
able to
get spicy
customize
ramen
all
and 6-shooter before the end of the season?
Yes, I believe they are going away by the end of the season, Syn.
Start panicking.
And then they're bringing in
Do you know how many
mic drop.
Brighting rooms I've had?
How many?
Seriously.
Probably like 150 more.
100 million.
Yeah, so hold on. Do I increase my chances by pulling out my wallet?
Yes, probably.
Really?
Sadly,
No.
I think you probably do.
No.
Have you guys
No,
bought
I
anything?
don't-
Have you guys bought anything
Yes.
from?
Yep.
You have. Okay.
Yes,
What
I
did
have
you get?
bought 3,000 silver. I bought 3,000
Okay.
silver, and I just put them into bright engrams to get the confused Travolta. And I only got the confused Travolta when I bought it from Tex Everest this damn week.
Yeah, and you know what? I did exactly the
Well,
same
I'm gonna have
thing.
to do that off stream. I'm gonna go buy some shit tonight. So if you guys can hurry up, I'm gonna go get my spice.
Make it rain.
Yeah, so the emotes are disappearing, but from what I can tell from all sources, they are disappearing at the end of season 1, and they're bringing back new emotes at season 2, which is it
is
sort
what
of
it is.
encourages people to go and buy bright engrams if they really want the emote, but loot boxes they've brought it into Destiny. It's now a thing. If you want to use it, go right ahead. I'm not going to judge you for it. It's kind of shitty on Activision and Bungie's part, but you know what? It funds game development. Sorry, it funds extra to the game development cycle, if that makes sense. Like obviously you've got people who have bought the game on 3 consoles or have bought the game for the first time. You've got all that money. They don't need the extra money, but the extra money does help with paying developers and artists and all that sort of thing. And hopefully it doesn't just go to the pockets of some Activision developer scumbag.
You know what? We took
I
on
don't
the
want to touch on
the
that,
corporate
but
world.
I will say something. I will say something about the emotes. I'm okay with them changing it per season. I like knowing that there's new emotes out there. I'm not going to be one to pursue them. There's no reason for me to collect them. If I get one, I think it's cool. I'll use it, but I don't. For me personally, it's okay that I don't get them. I like seeing that they're out there, and I like that it kind of signifies progression when they change things from Eververse. I think it's good for the community. Cosmetics are actually a lot better than what people give them credit for, I think.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
it does. I mean, people just, it's fun, and that's why we play games, right? It's fun. Yeah, the money
What?
side of it's
Fun.
a whole other thing. You don't play for fun?
No, I just I've got nothing better to do with my time, man. I'll play this game so that I can
can't
write
have fun 'cause
angsty
I play
posts on
bad.
Reddit. That's why I just want to get in here and experience enough so that I can go and write angry shit on Reddit. That's why I'm here.
You will never be allowed back on Reddit. Log
Me?
ever.
No,
It's
I'll write.
never going to be a thing.
So what else we got? We got the updated patch too coming. So that was the
Correct.
next point down. So we do see there's basically fixes bureaucratic walk. We saw that coming given that they cancelled trials because of it for fucking 2 weeks. Fixed an issue causing players to encounter empty public spaces. I mean I've noticed this once, and it was I think early last week when Titan was the flashpoint, and I was there and I'm like, there is fucking no one here, and I'm trying to solo
here.
public events, and it's the only time I've really encountered it. I went back to Orbit, I flew back in, it's still empty, and I'm like, I think it was like a Wednesday maybe that I did it, And I'm like, really? It's fucking no one's playing this shit already? And then I went back to orbit, went to the tower, did something, came back, and there was like 8 people there. So, okay. So I was clearly just in an instance with nobody. So definitely a welcome fix there. There's also a heap of Crucible stuff, so updated Mercy rule sloth. Maybe, hey.
I probably should have read the patch notes. Hey?
I knew it was in there. That's why I kept asking. That's why I asked you the question. Clash, they're reducing the score limit to 50 rather than 75. Get a bit quicker game turnover. Control, score limit reduced to 90 rather than 100. I mean, for me, 90, 100, 6, 1.5 dozen of the other, but it's a reduction, so it'll get games turning over quicker. Reduced influence of enemy controlled zones over the spawning system. So I guess we do see a little bit in control at the moment where if your enemy is sort of holding 2 points, you know exactly where you're going to spawn, irrespective of whether the enemy's actually at those points or not. So you can really get pinned. You can get pinned bad. So it is nice that they're reducing that. So there's no one there near B point from their team, and irrespective of whether they hold it, you'll probably start spawning closer to that. And I think it'll get points being turned over a bit more. So definitely a positive there. Survival, the round time limit is reduced to 2 minutes. I mean, it was fucking eternity before. And the life count is down to 6 from 8. So, I mean, the week when that was the trials game type, for fuck's sake, they were the longest cards ever. Like, I watched I mean, I'm not complaining for myself. I'm complaining for dudes who, Lucky and Butt Wipe and that do this. This is their thing. They carry people through trials. They help people through trials. Man, it was taking like hours and hours to get through cards because people would play so defensively that it'd always go to bonus time limit, and it was just negative. It is definitely a positive thing that they've cut 2 lives out and dropped the timer. So, hopefully it'll be a bit more welcome, because at the moment when that comes up in competitive, everyone kind of goes, ugh. It's like Supremacy, really? Fucking quick late. Like, I hate both of those game types for that reason. Supremacy increased the score to win to 70 from 50. Don't know why. I mean, I don't want to be in there any longer than I have to. You get a point for defeating a Guardian, and then a point for picking up their thing. So will that see us?
That's why.
Yeah. Will that see? Yeah, but like, does that mean that people are going to be less inclined to pick the fucking things up and play the objective? Man, I've led scoreboards where I've got like 2 kills in a game and just run around and pick the fucking things up. So I don't know. That's just where it is. And adjusted I didn't realize this was a thing, but apparently enemy crests on the ground impacted on where you spawned.
Really?
Like where they died, and no one had picked up the thing impacted on. I'm not sure whether it spawned you near them on purpose. I'm assuming it meant it spawned you away from them because it treated them like an enemy thing. It just seems weird to me, but I mean they're changing that, so definite positive there. I mean that's the wrap of the patch.
There was a tweet that was put out a little while ago. I say a little while ago, about 2 hours ago, by Bungie. The uncapping frame, it's all the PC stuff. So PC Destiny 2 version, Destiny 2 PC version rather, vital information and known issues list. It is there. Please go to Bungie help. Check out their recent tweets. I will post it in the chat, the Twitch chat right now, just so you guys can have a quick look at it. There is also another one that has come up as well. So if you do play Destiny on PC, please check out both those articles. That'll also be in the YouTube video, in the YouTube comment down below here if you want to check that out as well. But lads, I think that's a pretty good wrap for the week. Eh?
I think it's a wrap. I think we've literally solved the universe's problems, haven't we?
We did.
I don't know about that, but sure.
Peace in our time. Brought to you by the DDDU podcast with SyntaxSe7en. Every time it's just going to be a brainstorming session from now on. Whenever the community needs it, we'll get you on, and we'll I don't even know what I'm fucking talking about.
I don't even know what you're talking about. It's fine.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, we're going to find someone to raid into because we like fucking helping people out. Have you got
this particular... Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. This particular gentleman has been on the podcast before. He's currently raising money for cystic fibrosis through the with the Dads of Destiny clan. His name is Static Oz. He's also part of the Syn City stream team as well. He's a really, really top dude. He's wearing silly glasses for a month because... You know, he made a bet that someone wouldn't donate. They wouldn't be able to get to the donation goal, and they did. And now he has to wear silly glasses for a month. So if you guys want to go in there and check him out, yell a whole bunch of g'day because that's what we do. We're Australian. That's what we do.
G'day.
And g'day.
G'day raid.
G'day.
That's what we don't have a raid. We don't have a raid. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we do. We just yell g'day at people. That's.
And ladies and gentlemen, Syn, thank you for coming on the cast again, man. It's been super enjoyable once again.
Thank you.
You are a scholar and a
for
gentleman.
asking me. It's always fun hanging out, and we should do it more often.
Absolutely.
Sounds good to me.
Absolutely.
It's nice. It's nice for us to get things off our chests, and then we can go back and feel better about the game.
Dude,
Because
I
I'm
mean,
gonna play the shit out of the game, whether we're happy about it or not.
Sloth and I have that. That's the thing. Sloth and I do this every week, where we have these massive kind of fucking vents, and we still manage to find things to be like.
All right, hit me with it. Hit me with it.
Thank you so much, mate. It's a pleasure to have you on, and it's definitely something we'll have to do again. We might do a DDU brainstorming session, a special one-off episode next time. We just line it up. We'll line up a heap of ideas. Because this is what it turned into, and it was fucking positive, you know? Like, there was no one talking shit. And we're in the upswing. We're in the upswing.
You're in the upswing.
Yeah, we're in the upswing. We're going up the roller coaster.
We're in the upswing, too. Don't you ask me in the downswing.
Righto. Well,
Yes, sir.
Only in the upswing. Only when there's positive stories to tell. That's right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for watching. We have been the Destiny Down Under podcast, and the pleasure has been all ours. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Absolutely. Gotchas, guys. Bye.